Hello everyone, I'm Siddhant. Today the chapter name is Treasury and the Asset Liability Management. Asset liability management means to manage the assets and the liabilities of the bank. So why we need to manage this asset and liability? Reason being, since the assets that we have, for example the loan, is very fixed, that after this year the amount will come to us. But as far as the assets liabilities are concerned, for example, that demand deposits or current deposits can be taken any point of time by our customers. So it creates a gap that in some of the time you might left with no money to repay for the withdrawal of your customers. So these things needs to be taken care by a committee known as ALCO committee, that is asset liability committees, which takes care that in particular year or in future, when which amount or which loans are maturing and which liabilities are maturing. So they take care of by tracking all the assets and liabilities, and to fulfill the withdrawal or to manage the gap that this asset liability mismatch creates. So this is the main function of the asset liability management. And what is the purpose of this ALM? The main purpose is to manage spread. What is the spread? Spread, simply understood with an example, that for example you have given a loan at 10% and you have taken a deposit for 7%, let's say time deposit. Because in asset liability management we do not takes demand deposits as well as the current deposits into concern. So we take only time deposit in the liability side and loans, all the loans in the asset side. So we take care only of that. Asset liability management is all about that only. So what do you mean by spread? Let's say we have given a loan at 10% and we have taken a deposit at 7%. So this 3% in a positive, in a surplus, that's 3% is called a positive spread. But what if we gave a loan at lower interest, for example 4%, we have given loan, but we have taken a term deposit at 7%. So this will create a negative spread. So this is the spread. And this asset liability management also takes care of the risks and also takes care of the asset liability mismatches. And as far as this asset liability management is concerned, there are various methods to manage the asset liability in the banking. But here we are dealing with the module C, which is all about the treasury. So treasury is one of the instrument to manage the asset liability management. And this chapter and this topic is only will be only stick to that treasury only. And the next we will take the concept of ALM policies. So doing asset liability management is not a cakewalk. It's very difficult. It's a very Herculean task. They need to plan, they need to implement. There's a lots of thing involved in this asset liability management. So there is a need of policy by the banking itself, and that policy should be approved by the board and should comply the rules and the regulations of the RBI as well as the SEBI. And the policies that the banks make needs to file to the RBI, so that the RBI can check whether these policies are conduce to the environment or as per the rules and the regulations. And the next topic is the role of treasury in the ALM. Now treasury is one of the instrument, as I discussed, in implementing the ALM policies, and this treasury is used to manage the risks or maintain the monitoring the risk, manage the risk, and identify the risk. So this treasury takes care of the risks involved in the bank. How? We will see it now. For example, let's say someone has deposited 10 crore of rupees, and this 10 crore we have given loan to someone else. So this loan will be mature after 5 years. But this 10 crore can be taken any point of time. For example, this person came and asked his 10 crore. Now, where will the bank will go? Now the bank will contact treasury department and asking that I have a loan of 10 crore, take this loan and distribute and divide this loan into many pieces and divide and distribute it in the market. So let's say this loan is taken and it distributed among many pieces and divide and given it into the market. So after selling these loans they will get money. Now this treasury will give money to the bank, and now bank in turn give it to the depositors. This is how it manages the risk. Next, the treasury is nothing but a link between the branch operation and the market operations. How? For example, this is a treasury and this is nothing but a market and this is nothing but a bank. So it's a link between the market and the bank. So the next concept is the treasury risk in credit risk in treasury. As we have discussed, there is a very less credit risk involved in the treasury, but a part of the credit risk is very much in the treasury as well. For example, credit risk can be of many types, and one of the credit risk is counterparty risk. What do you mean by counterparty risk? That involves the third party. We will discuss this with an example. For example, there are two instruments in the derivatives. We have not taken chapter 18. We will discuss tomorrow the chapter 18. We are taking chapter 19 now, and just understand what I am telling. There is a two instrument that is called a future and forward. So before future comes, there were only the forward is a forward happens. Forward is nothing but an agreement. A forward is a type of derivative. I already discussed what derivative means. Derivative is nothing to protect ourselves from the risk. For example, I have given you the example. We will repeat the same example throughout so that you can remember very easily. Let's say you have $1 cost rupees 75. Now, after 3 months, you need to give payment to someone else. But after 3 months, what will be the cost of that $1? You don't know. So you want to fix the dollar to 75 because you are of the view that after 3 months it might go to $80. So you want to fix this dollar to 75. You put into an agreement that is called a forward agreement. So previously what happening in the forward, two persons involved and they entered into an agreement. What if someone else do not comply the agreement and ran away from the agreement? No one is there to stop them. So in the future what happens, a third mediator came, and this is the mediator who do an agreement between the two peoples, and this is the mediator who ensures that the amount or the delivery done as per the rules and as per the compliance, so that no one can run from the agreement. So this third party is nothing called a stock exchange in India. So now in the future agreement this happens. So the credit, so previously when the two parties doing an agreement, there was a counterparty risk because one can easily leave the agreement and run away from the agreement. But now after the stock exchange come as a mediator, now they can't. So the counterparty risk involves in the treasury. And one very important thing that we have discussed here, yes, when the bank give loans to the treasury, and when the one loan is divided into different number of loans, small loans, that process is called as securitization. Okay. Now the next concept we will see, that is the transfer pricing from the banking to the treasury. So what is that transfer pricing means? We will discuss it in this example. For example, this treasury is there, this bank is here, bank or branch. Now this bank branch asked treasury to raise money from the market through certificate of deposits or any bonds. Just raise the money. Now this raise the money of 10 crore. Now this treasury takes the 10 crore from the market at 7% of interest. Now this 10 crore is given to the bank. Now bank give this 10 crore of rupees at the rate of 10% to some borrowers. Now this change, this difference of 3% is the benefit of the branch. So this process of transferring from treasury to the bank, or if there is a surplus or deposit, then the bank or branch transfer it to the treasury, that is called a transfer pricing. I hope you understood this. Now we will see the questions. Question 1. How does a bank calculate the net liquidity? What do you mean by liquidity? Anything which easily convert it into a cash, that is a liquidity. Now, net liquidity means whenever we talk about the liquidity, we talk about only the current, at present, what is the resources we have and what are the liabilities we have. You need to follow in 2-3 days or just now. So the option A is comparing available cash resources with immediate liabilities. So this is what the net liquidity means. So the option A is the right answer. Next question, liquidity with a bank means positive cash flow that includes. So how the banks get the liquidity or the positive cash flow or convert the liquidity. So the cash surplus is nothing but a kind of liquidity because it's already in the cash. Committed credit lines from other banks. It means that the banks takes money from another bank in the call money or the notice money. So it came very easily, and very easily the cash comes. So this also under positive cash flows. Liquefiable securities. So those securities which can easily be sold into the market, that is called a liquefiable securities. And the nostro account, as we discussed what is the vostro and the nostro account, I also gave you the trick how to remember the vostro and the nostro account. Vostro is V and it is more similar to Y. So the vostro means your account with us and nostro means our account with you. So in the nostro account, our matlab, it means our branch account money is with the foreign branch, is kept with the foreign branch. So that is our money. So that is also a positive cash flow, that is nostro account. Next question, treasury used in banks mainly for the following purposes. Option A, okay, we have discussed that treasury, what is the use of the treasury? To manage risks. But what is the purpose of treasury? The purpose of the treasury to maintain liquidity and to bridge the rate sensitivity gap. That is the main purpose of the treasury. Next question, a bank borrows 6 months United States at 3% and lends equal amount in rupee funds at 7% for the same period. Okay, the bank borrows 6 months. It means the bank is borrowing. So it is nothing but paying off 3% of interest to other entity and equal amount in rupees funds at and lends equal amount of rupee funds at 7%. It means they are lending, it means they are earning that 7% of interest. So plus 7. The bank also makes payment of the forward premium of 1%. We have discussed that in the forward, in the future, that there is a third party, and whenever in the forward there is an agreement, and in the agreement there is a premium need to be paid. That's the purpose of the forward agreement. A premium is to be paid, and that premium is nothing but and the bank also makes the payment. The bank is paying the here the forward premium. So it is nothing but a minus 1% because the money is going out from the bank. So that is, if you calculate it, 7 minus 4% is equal to 3%, and this 3% is in positive, so it's a positive spread. So the answer is here option A, that is 3%. Next question, a bank is funding a 5-year loan with a 6 months deposit. Okay, whenever you are giving a loan for 5 years to someone but the deposit matures only at 6 months, so what it will give? It will give a liquidity risk, that's for sure, but it also gives a interest rate risk. So the option here is A and B both, A and C both. But how you have understood how it is liquidity? Because you have, for example, you have taken a deposit for 6 months and that deposit you have given loan for 5 years, so it will create a liquidity problem. But how the interest rate risk, there is a interest rate risk involved, now we will understand. For example, we have taken 6 months deposit and given a loan for 5 years. So after 6 months this person will come to take his deposit. Now how you will get the money? If there is no money with you, you will take a loan to prepay that after 6 months. So when you take that loan, might be the loan is at 12% in the market. So when you take that loan at 12% and repay that money after 6 months, so that creates a interest rate risk, because you are, for example, at that time when you have taken deposit, it is 6% you have given deposit, and you have given loan for 10%. But after 6 months, when there you have no money to repay, so you took the loan at 12%. So this will create a interest rate risk. So the option A and C is both correct. Securitization leads to, I already told you, the division of a big loan into a small loan, that is called a securitization, and it leads to infusion of the liquidity. Yes, this one is true. Option B, freeing the capital blocked in the loan assets. Yes, this one is also true. Earning of the extra income. This is also true. So the option D is all of the above. Next question, name an instrument where the credit risk is similar to the loan but it is tradable and hence more liquid. Just remember that bond is nothing but a kind of a credit. But the difference between the credit and the bond is only that the bond can be sold in the stock exchange or the market very easily, but you can't send the loan very easily. Loan are not tradable, but bonds are tradable. So whenever there is a question that what is the alternative of the credit, you should go with the bonds. So the option B, bond issued by a company. Next question, which of the following called credit substitutes? Here also it asks credit substitute, so that is nothing but a bonds. So the option C, commercial papers and the bonds issued by the company. Next question, which helps banks to diversify credit risk? So the credit derivatives helps to diversify the credit risk. What do you mean by derivatives? We have understood that it is nothing but to manage the risk. That is credit derivatives. Next question, where a bank branch extends the loan at 12% and the treasury division buys the same loan from the branch at 8%. The gain of 4% is to branch. The option is branch. What it is saying? It is saying that, let's say treasury has lifted the money at 8% and given to the branch and given the branch at 8%, and the branch in turn gave the money to the borrower at 10%. So the difference of this, that is 2%, will go with the branch. It is the income of the branch. So here it is asking the same question. So the option is B, branch. Next question, the process of fixation of cost of resources and returns on the assets of a bank in a rational manner within a bank is called. It is a definition of the transfer price mechanism. You just remember the definition. Investment policy under ALM prescribes. So what do you mean by investment policy? Investment, okay, we have discussed what do you mean by ALM and what is the ALM policies. So in ALM policies there is a different policies, like investment policy where the bank's gonna invest, liquidity policy, how the banks will liquidate something. So that is the policy decided in the ALM policies itself. So investment policies under ALM prescribes. So where the banks are allowed to invest, it is a permissible investment. Yes, whatever the RBI allows, they can invest. For example, the banks are not allowed to invest in the equities and the options. So that they are not allowed in that, but otherwise they are allowed. So option A is correct. That is permissible investment as per the RBI. Option B, SLR and non-SLR, it is also allowed. Trading in the securities and the repo, it is also allowed. So the option is D. Next question, liquidity policy under ALM prescribes which of the following? Liquidity policy means how the liquidity maintains in the bank. Minimum liquidity to be maintained. Yes, this is true. Next option, funding of the reserve assets. Yes, this one is also true. Next option, limits on the exposure to the money market. Yes, this one is also true. So the option D is all of the above. That is, it is correct as far as the liquidity policies are concerned. Next question, prepayment of which bank products skips ALM analysis. As we have discussed in the ALM, we only take all the assets and the liabilities, only the time liabilities, not the demand deposit, because we can't manage that because it can be demanded anytime. So the option is demand deposit is not taken into ALM analysis. Next question, RBI has not prescribed which of the following buckets. So RBI prescribes many buckets of the investments or the time limit in which they can invest, but 1 to 7 days is not allowed by the RBI because of various reasons. Next question, balance sheet risk if not controlled may result into. Okay, what is the balance sheet risk? That risks associated with the assets and the liability is nothing but a balance sheet risk, because balance sheet composes of assets and the liabilities. So balance sheet's risk if not controlled may result into negative spreads. Yes, true, we have seen that. Negative, what do you mean by spread and the negative spread? So negative spread is it might result into a negative spread, And erosion of the net worth, erosion means to decrease, and net worth means we have understood that all the assets of any particular company to the all the minus all the liabilities is the net worth, or in other words the total capital plus the reserves, that is the net worth. Option C is bankruptcy. Yes, it might go into the bankruptcy if the balance sheet risk is not controlled or maintained. So the option D is the right answer. That's it. Thank you. Please subscribe and like the channel. And we are only one chapter away to complete the module C. We are going at a very good pace. We will surely complete, and you should revise as much as you can. Even if you get a time anywhere, just put your headphone and listen many times. You will easily grasp it. Thank you. And please subscribe the channel. Please like, please comment. Thank you.